Hello and welcome to St Peter Mencroft, to those of you here and those watching online. I'm Fiona Haworth, the Associate Priest. This is part of our series of live-streamed reflections from Mencroft, and if you're visiting the church, please feel free to continue looking around. Yesterday we held the Holocaust Memorial Service here, in which we remember the victims of the Holocaust and of the subsequent genocides in Cambodia, Rwanda, Bosnia and Darfur, and all those facing conflict, violence and persecution today. And it is a privilege to work with the Jewish community on this service. This year the theme was Bridging Generations. We have worked over the past few years to engage with schools, and we're delighted that 3 schools participated this year. We invited young people to write reflections for the service on what Holocaust Memorial Day means for them. Their contributions were moving and thoughtful, expressing the importance of remembering so that the atrocities of the past remain firmly in the past. Pupils from Notre Dame High School offered these reflections. We want to learn about the wrongs of the past so that our generation do not make the same mistakes. Discrimination continues to be a serious problem that affects people of all ages. We need our voice to be heard to make it stop. We want to be the change that we want to see in the world. We want our lives to become a message of hope for the future. Elwyn, the adult child of a survivor of the Rwandan genocide, shared these words. My mother's frequent repetition of the term never again, or kwibuka, remembrance, became an essential guide in my life. I discovered that it applies to all historical atrocities and genocides, not only Rwanda. Remembering is an active duty rather than a passive one. I also saw the trauma that survivors endure, as well as the tremendous fortitude required to start over. It takes bravery, tenacity and hope to start over in a foreign place. As a child of a genocide survivor, I have a special desire to take advantage of the chances my mother was denied, not out of conceit, but out of reverence for what she lost. Recalling the past enables us to make decisions for the future that are compassionate, peaceful, and accountable. And the great-grandchild of a Holocaust survivor challenged us all with these words. When we say never again, we do not say it as Jews. We say it as human beings living on this earth. Never again means never again for anyone, whether a Jew on a train to Auschwitz or a Palestinian losing their home and family to an Israeli airstrike. As I listened to these wonderful young people, I was filled with hope for a kinder and more compassionate future. I was also filled with shame over the world we are handing on. We have not listened to the voices of children. We have not learnt the lessons of the past. Many will know of Anne Frank. Anne was a Jew living in Amsterdam. In June 1942, Anne received an autograph book for her 13th birthday and decided to keep it as a diary. Shortly afterwards, Anne and her family went into hiding. Anne kept her diary until the family were arrested by the Gestapo in August 1944. Anne and her sister died in Belsen-Bergen in February or March in 1945. The following is from Anne's diary written shortly before her arrest. July the 15th, 1944. It's utterly impossible for me to build my life on a foundation of chaos, suffering, and death. I see the world being slowly transformed into a wilderness. I hear the approaching thunder that one day will destroy us too. I feel the suffering of millions. And yet, when I look up at the sky, I somehow feel that everything will change for the better, that this cruelty too will end, that peace and tranquility will return once more. In the meantime, I must hold on to my ideals. Perhaps the day will come when I'll be able to realize them. The chaos, suffering, and death that Anne Frank wrote of is still killing children around the world. I recently saw the film, The Voice of Hind Rehab. Hind lived in an area in Gaza forced to evacuate. She was leaving in a car with her aunt and uncle and their 4 children. The car was targeted by an Israeli tank. Early in the film, we hear a desperate call from 15-year-old Leanne to the Palestinian Red Crescent Society from the car, before the terrified voice is cut off by gunfire. Shortly afterwards, the Red Crescent made contact with 5-year-old Hind, the only one left alive. The film is built around the audio files of Hind's voice speaking to the Red Crescent workers, appealing them to come and save her. "I'm so scared. Please come. Come take me. Please, will you come?" The call lasted 3 hours as the Red Crescent workers tried to negotiate safe passage for an ambulance to save Hind, who was surrounded by the bodies of her family. Eventually, safe passage was negotiated and an ambulance dispatched. The call ended with the sound of gunfire or an explosion. 12 days later, the car was discovered with Hind's body and those of her relatives. A few feet away was the twisted wreckage of the ambulance, the 2 paramedics also killed. Hind was killed 2 years ago tomorrow. The film is powerful and harrowing. As we remember the atrocities of the past, it should serve as a wake-up call to us all to renew our efforts to build a kinder, safer, more compassionate world where every child can grow and flourish in safety and in peace, where children like Anne Frank and Hind Rehab can realize their ideals.